November is almost over. My hot cocoa supply is low. My plot has 3 unsatisfying murders, a rogue cat, and I don't know, at least 2 existential crises. And honestly, I feel like I've given this my all. I didn't hit 50K. I didn't hit any of the traditional milestones, but I don't know, I feel like I've barely even met my goal most days. But somehow I'm still proud. I'm still proud of the progress I made this month, because I didn't just write words. I wrote my way back to myself. I wrote my way back into writing and into figuring out this routine. So if your November feels equal parts like a victory lap and some emotional hangover, welcome home. This one's for you and for me. Today we're wrapping up this challenge and we're going to talk about what's next. So basically what's going to be coming to an end and what's going to continue after the end of this month. And maybe even do a little bit of gentle planning for December without losing your momentum, because November has been incredible at refilling my creative well, but also at depleting my creative well. I feel exhausted by this stage, but also I feel really good. I've made progress, quite significant progress, even if my book isn't done. And I want to make the most of this momentum to carry it forward into the next few months. And I feel like maybe some of you want the same thing. Maybe you want to continue building on this creative practice that you've been developing. Oh, and hi, if we haven't met yet, I'm Celine, and this is the Uncharted studio. It's just a little cozy corner of the internet for mindful creatives, for people who are into simple creative living, and for writers, for people who are good with chaos. For the last 4 weeks, I basically took on the challenge of building a creative rhythm throughout November. I've been sharing all my thoughts and reflections. We've talked about how to get into creative flow. We've talked about what to do when you hit that messy middle and a slump where I completely lost track of days and I thought I was at the end of week 2 when I was quite far into week 3. Anyway, all of that chaos. And then, I just kept reminding myself throughout this last month that bravery is just another way of looking at failure, because if you don't take risks, if you aren't brave and showing your courage, then that's the actual failure. Whereas if you try things and they don't work out, that is good. It's that one brave page that you've dared to take on. Every creative sprint or every creative challenge just feels like a story with an ending. Like there's this finality to November, where at the end of November, you've either got a novel in your hands or not. But creativity isn't a standalone, it's a series. It keeps working. So the November deadline, yeah, that stops that goal, sure, but your curiosity, your creativity, your continuous act of creation doesn't have to end here. What ends is this manic push, and what continues is this pull. It's the quiet draw towards things that still matter to you. There's a concept in psychology called the progress principle, which basically says that we don't get the biggest dopamine hit from finishing something, but rather from noticing progress. So that's why we were building in some reflection throughout the month, so that we could continuously notice progress and refine and notice more progress and growth and development. So even if your novel is just a half-baked idea at this stage, you've been training your creative muscles, and it's worth recognizing that. Take a second to just think about what's one thing you're grateful to leave behind this month. And what's one thing that you want to carry forward into the next one and into the one after that? For me, the one thing I'm going to leave behind is this extreme focus on word count. I've caught myself this month thinking that even if I hit my minimum goal, which was the 15 to 20 minute session or the 300 words, I would feel unsatisfied and I would compare to what the previous day's numbers were and the days before that and the day before that. But that isn't healthy. It kind of felt like my worth was entirely tied to those numbers. And that's not a reflection of anything. It's not a reflection of what my creativity is worth. It's not a reflection of what my writing is worth. Some days I'm sure I wrote a lot more, but the writing was worse. So I'm leaving that part behind. But what I'm keeping with me are the tangents and the prompts. Just using little prompts like I did from Wonderbook last month, using these little prompts to help me get out of a rut or help me get out of any moment where I'm feeling a little bit stiff. And to let my creativity play, I found that that was extremely helpful. Like a couple of weeks ago when I told you about the tavern menu that I designed. Things like that felt very authentic and they felt good. So I'm gonna keep that going forward. And I'm also gonna keep the pauses and the acceptance of life happens. You know, I'll keep allowing for things to be imperfect. That's something that felt very compassionate. It felt very Kristen Neff of me to be like, hey, you know what? Today wasn't perfect. Today I didn't write. Today I just got distracted and angry and was so tired that I just could not care less about this. And not berating myself for that. That felt good. So this just makes me think that gratitude isn't about ignoring everything that went wrong. It's about zooming out far enough to be able to see that even this tangled thread, this mess, is actually something that's making a tapestry. So when we notice all these things that we're working, it kind of feels like reminding our brain that the effort we put into this was worth it. So let's try this. Why don't you write with me, and I'm gonna put the prompts up on screen so you can pause whenever you want. Write 3 things that November has taught you about your creativity. Write 1 thing that you're proud of and 1 thing that you're ready to release. So mine was that I write my best when I stop trying to win. That my dog sighs at exactly the time when I'm overthinking a scene, and it's really funny. And that rest is part of a draft. Like, these pauses are actually part of my creative drafting process, and I shouldn't take them for granted or force through them. Now, growth is sneaky. It doesn't show up with fireworks and a big bang. It whispers. So maybe even though you didn't finish your book, you met a version of yourself who keeps showing up for their creativity and who keeps showing up for this dream that they have. So ask yourself, who am I becoming while trying? Because that's the you that you're going to carry forward and who's going to keep you growing and evolving. Because this month we didn't just chase some writing targets. We came closer to being truer to our authentic, whimsy, sometimes lazy selves. Let's get practical again before we rush on to what's next and planning our next month. Let's take a pause for a little quick debrief. So in your notebooks, draw 3 columns. It's going to be your keep, your change, and your let go of. So in the keep column, you're just going to write about what worked, you know, the different moments or tools or things that made your creativity feel like it was coming to life. In the change column, you're going to write what drained you, you know, the things that you need to change, the distractions, the things that didn't just quite feel right. And then in let go, you're going to let go of things like the guilt, the goals, the things that didn't serve you or don't serve where you're going next. This is one of my favorite post-project rituals. It takes just 10 minutes and it helps me see things that I might have dropped if I didn't appreciate them properly, or start new things that could help me, or even stop habits that would extremely frustrate me in the long run if I didn't take a minute now to assess whether they need changing. So a few of the key things that came out of my 3-column exercise this month are, I want to keep my early morning writing blocks. They work. That was the time that I was most effective in the time where I felt like I was tapping into flow the best. I want to keep my little playlist ritual. I even at some point evolved my playlist to have 3 separate playlists for the 3 acts of my story, because my main character is in such a different frame of mind from act 1 to 2 to 3, and that helped me sink straight into where she's at. And I also want to keep my shorter word sprints. There were times when I was writing and saying, you know what, I'm going to write until I hit 100 words, or I'm going to write for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And that really helped me sink into the flow very, very quickly, because I would just sit down and be like, okay, focus time. Now, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And that helped. I want to change my late night work sessions. 9 p.m., my brain is done. Like, I am fried. Anything after 6 p.m. really wasn't that effective. So no, just no. And I'm gonna let go of what I had mentioned earlier, which is the idea that progress and growth only counts when it's measurable, because I feel like I grew in so many ways that were not related to word count. My plotting became a lot better. My character development, my world building, fleshing out. This feels much better this book than it did last book, for example. So I feel like we maybe tie our progress and value too much to things like word count, and we need to let go of that. I definitely want to let go of that moving forward. And just remember that this isn't about judging what went wrong. It's about designing some sort of routine or ritual in life that's going to help you create better next time. So it's basically progress made conscious. It's, just because November is done doesn't mean we're done. We've got a long way to go. I've got a heck of a long way to go with this book. But we're not done yet. Now that you've spotted what's been working and what isn't working, it's time to build a system that actually fits you. Because creative burnout doesn't really come from doing too much. It comes from doing things that fight your natural rhythms. Think of it as your personal user manual for your creativity, based on all the things we've learned from this month so far. Ask yourself, when did I feel most focused this month? What routines made writing or creating easier to start? Which tools or spaces made me dread it less? And what did I ignore that my body kept whispering? Your answers are going to be your creative compass. They're the foundation for your sustainable growth, not just for December, but for every project after this one. Because creativity isn't a sprint, it's a rhythm that you learn to play by ear. And the best systems aren't rigid, they are responsive, and they learn to grow and change and adapt as you do. So before you start planning what's next, just take a moment to pause and look at everything that you've learned this month, everything you've tried, every way you've grown. That's your map, that's your shining light moving forward. You don't need to reinvent yourself with every project, you just need to listen to the data that your creativity has already given you. Because sustainability isn't necessarily about slowing down, it's about moving in rhythm, in sync with yourself. If this finale helped you exhale, hit that like button, share this with someone else who you think needs a little bit of a creative pause after this November push, and subscribe for next week, because we're in for a new season. Oh, and in the comments, tell me what's one thing that you're grateful for that your creativity taught you this month. I'm looking forward to reading what everyone's been learning and how we've all been growing together through this crazy manic nano push.